So, what we have here is a project I've wanted to do in World of Warcraft for a long time. We're going to do a story that is completely told through the community, through the role players, and I only get one life. So, if this character dies because of a random mob, bad luck, that's it. The story is over. Her overarching goal, we spun a little dial completely randomly generated that I was going to play on the Alliance, a Worgen, female, and that her class was Warlock, and her main goal is revenge. So we've chosen completely random this story. Her goal is to eventually get to max level so we can go to the Undercity, somewhere up here. It's been a while. Undercity, raid it and take out the leader of the undead. Revenge against the undead. Very important to the Worgen. So kind of a basic story, but kind of the rest of the story will be told through, hopefully, playing with the community. So her story is very basic. We're going to ignore that she knows any of this. So our first goal is going to be to find another Warlock player and have them teach her something. Whether that be destruction, affliction, demonology, it's all going to come from player knowledge. Where she's going to go to level and start training, all through player knowledge. I'm only going to have one bag. Keep it a little bit more realistic. I can't keep everything on me. I can only carry things here and the important things. So outfits, food, water, everything has to fit in a one adventuring backpack. I'm going to turn war mode on, which if you don't play World of Warcraft, that means I'm going to allow other players to attack me. So if my story gets cut short because some random player decides to come and kill my character, again, that is it. That is the end of the story. So I'm really excited to see how well this works. I'm going to be super disappointed if I get 10 minutes into this and the character dies because of bad luck. But I'm really hoping to see what one life really looks like in World of Warcraft. How far can you get one life with the community teaching you, training you, all that sort of thing. So let's find out. So I started off with actually a decent bit of luck on my first kind of attempt to find someone to train my character in the ways of the Warlock. I stumbled across some people, you can kind of see them in the top left-hand corner, talking about a little bit of Warlocky things. When I spoke to them, they directed me to the two people you see before you, a dwarf at the table and a human, who are both Warlock players as well. Our conversation in total probably took about an hour, hour and a half, so I'm not going to make you sit here and read that tiny chat box in the bottom left-hand corner to kind of get the gist of everything. So I'll quickly summarize it here on how that conversation impacted the character and what happened. So she approached these two people and asked them very quietly if they happened to be Warlocks and could teach her. They were most interested in finding out what her motivation was. Why do you want to be a Warlock? She explained that she wanted revenge, and that if she had to become a monster in the process, then so be it. The only thing that matters is vengeance. They were both very unhappy to hear this and told her outright they would not train her if that was going to be her reasoning for trying to become a Warlock. They spoke in depth about, Gilneas losing family, the hardship they've all faced in the world of Warcraft. Obviously war is a big part of Warcraft, so a lot of people have had suffering, right? A character who has a tragic background isn't exactly unique. Almost everyone's had someone taken from them at some point because, even though in-game wise, it's been, 15 years, almost 20 years of World of Warcraft, so people have had all these times to write characters, and some of these characters have existed for that entirety of time, so as war goes on, people of course become lost to war. They of course explained that just because the undead did some of these terrible things, it doesn't mean that all undead are bad. They tried to reason with humanity, they tried to bring up death knights, or people who are forced to do bad things but then change sides or change their mind, or even are forced to do bad things because of outside influences, but they were unable to change my character's mind. I haven't mentioned it yet, but my character's name is Lulu. Now, Lulu did give them an inch and basically say that if that's their requirement for training, then she will gladly give that up because all she cares about is getting the training. She was lying a little bit through her teeth for that, but hey, can you blame her? With some reluctance, she finally convinced them to give her a little bit of training, and they gave her a list of rules to agree to, as well as a book about imps. Imps, of course, being the creature you can kind of see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen there. It's like the basic first demon a warlock summons. So from this, we've gathered that she is going to be learning demonology, so that is the new specialization for this character, and then they gave her some ways to, quote, level up, to gain some experience and do some training. This was a crucial part of starting this character because now I have the ability to know in character a few spells to go out and level, as well as a reason for her specialization and where, the level ups are coming from. With this, Lulu promised not to violate any of the rules and not to let them down, and bolted out to go study immediately, which began our ability to actually go out into the world and start our first leveling, which you'll see in the next video. I do not know what will happen from here. Again, everyone you see here are actual players who are writing stories in real time. I sat there again for about 2 hours and wrote with these people to get all of this information. The goal of this is to, of course, have real stories that are told by real people. So the goal is to run into these folks again, but if I'm unable to find them, someone else may offer additional training, a different path. Who knows what will happen from here? And that's kind of the exciting part of this whole thing. Why I'm so much enjoying this is I get to write a story, but I don't know what's going to happen next. It's kind of like why people enjoy Dungeons and Dragons so much, right? You never know what the dice are going to bring you. You never really know what's going to happen next. And when I step out into the world, my character can die. Something bad can happen. I can get pulled by too many enemies at once or ganked by the horde. There are so many variables. I'm so enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this as well. Stay tuned. We will go out and level up a little bit, and then the story will continue, and I'll tell you what happens next.